Alright guys, welcome back to another reaction video. My name is James.
Ninetailedbrush.
And today we are going to be watching Fruits Basket Season 1, Episode 11. So we keep getting hints of the deeper, darker story here with Akito. I got some theories about Akito, so we're just calling Akito Akito.
Okay.
Because I don't know. We'll see. I'm really interested to see where this all goes. We didn't really get a general hint about what's happening this episode. The last few episodes have kind of been very episodic.
Yeah, they've been like
and like self-contained, so I don't really know if there's anything kind of set up or where we're going here. It's very unpredictable. Obviously, there's always the chance we're going to meet more of the Soma clan. So I'm really just interested and I want to get into it. As always, though, full-length reaction is going to be up at the Patreon. Next week's reaction, episode 12, also up on the Patreon for early access if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. Obviously, you don't have to, but it's dirt cheap. It really does support us, and it gives you guys lots of perks for early access to all the anime we're watching, YouTube edits, full edits, a bunch of different stuff like that. Either way, though, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us and watching, even just on YouTube. If you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you guys stick around, like and subscribe. We'd love to have you. Got a little anime channel growing over here. And yeah, all that being said, let's just get into Fruits Basket episode 11. Oh dang. This is like Haikyuu, except they're probably going to pass it.
Yeah, I don't think we have any. Well, kill.
Tohru was like, I finished the whole year of curriculum. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Of course, he's smart. Of course, bro. Excuse me? Wave Girl is the best in the whole school.
I don't know, bro. Oh no.
Oh no. That doesn't give you answers.
Yeah.
And I still failed. No. Alright.
Didn't even really get a hint of what we're gonna be like.
I have no idea. She's working more, but...
Yeah, but...
Oh, that's just mean, dude.
You can just bring it
That's
up. That's
mean. I will... I'm not gonna tell you. It's like, ah! Well, we have nothing for you because Tohru makes everything.
True.
There's a fridge. What is that?
So it's kind of like linked with like Valentine's Day, where like the guys, it's kind of like a guy version kind of thing.
Okay. Uh-oh. Do we really want to bring her to the Soma hot spring?
I mean, as long as...
That's a little terrifying, bro.
No, it's not that. It's because her financial...
Oh, no. Oh. That's why.
Yeah, but she doesn't want that.
Dang, good for her.
Yeah, it's very admirable.
Yeah, I respect that. She's trying to be independent.
But I feel like she shouldn't do too much, you know? Like...
Oh. he's getting better.
You guys gotta do something.
Yeah, come on. I kind of like that she believes in that, though.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude. You're like freaking out over here. Okay. This is a cool, like, change in arts. Whoa. That's really cool art style. Okay. This is beautiful animation, man. This is just stunning.
It's very, very interesting.
Whoa. Whoa, dude. Jeez. Jeez, that's horrible. Actually, I kind of agree. I like that.
It's almost like, what do you get out of that story, right? What do you think of first?
Well, I mean, Tohru.
But I mean, even just the concept. Right?
Well, to me, it's like, well, why do we want stuff? Why do you want to do well in life or anything? If it's not to find some sort of happiness in, you know, a family or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, satisfaction in doing what's right and good, like, then why would you do it? And so if she finds this from that, even if you kind of think she's an idiot, and genuinely gets enjoyment out of it, then let them do it. I mean, they were a good person, even if they got used. Oh! It's just so much is happening. Whoa! Well, she clearly knows about the Zodiac.
Yes.
Bro, you're... This is so odd to me.
Oh, like
The like public bathing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I it's just funny because it's so foreign to me. That's kind of cool that she like brings her.
Yeah.
All right, which member of the Zodiac is she? Oh. Oh. I mean, it's weird. I didn't really think about them having parents, but I guess.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Well, they're too busy like freaking.
Oh, dude!
Bro, what?
Like animation on the ball. You guys are just determined to piss him off.
Watch her be like a pro.
Dude, watch. Whoa, dude. Most accurate ping pong game ever?
Look at this freaking place.
Oh, is it like a hair tie or something?
That's what it looks like.
Okay, bro. Okay. Yo, you need to come out here. Whoa.
Acting like a knight in shining armor?
Something. Just bring the whole Soma clan to the high school at this point.
Everyone's getting here.
What? That does not make any sense.
What the heck, bro?
That was cool. That was an interesting episode.
You get a little bit of just hanging out with
get a little more Kyo versus Yuki time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder about the whole like story though. Like what was it like? Reminds me of like a Mother Goose, like children's tale thing. I don't know. I think that's really interesting, and I do think it definitely does apply to Honda.
Yeah, it does, and it's interesting because it is like the majority would think kind of like it is kind of like what's with that story, it's like she got tricked and stuff, and it's like, okay,
I feel like there's
she's
something
just
that's
like naive
admirable about it though.
And I feel like if you can get something like that out of it, there's something good about that. It's almost like,
well, because it's easy to hate on somebody for being naive, but at the same time, it's like when you see a kid, that's like the pure, like really, like you see like a kid, and it's like they're practically angels. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you're a little naive, and you don't know everything about the world, but I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing.
I don't think it is either. Like, I think the story itself, and I personally, I really, really love that story. But like, I think that it's almost like, of course there's a thing to being realistic. I'm always like, I think I'm a little too like,
sure,
on the whole, even in like All of Us Are Dead and stuff like that. I'm a very like, okay, let's think about this logically.
No.
Realistically, right?
But that's like, why I feel like I value that more.
But I think that like, you can't get too into that sort of like, not pessimistic, but like, kind of. A little like doubtful sort of view of life. There has to be a little bit.
Has to be a balance.
Like a little bit of a balance. Yeah. And so I feel like if you look at that story and kind of think, oh, what a dumb girl, it's kind of like, you should be getting something good out of it. You should be able to see, of course, that she is a good person, genuinely, regardless of whether she's naive or whatever, right? It's like, in the end, even if she's being used, she's just a good person. And that's the end of it.
If you look at what she's doing, it's like, what is she doing? She's giving away everything she has for other people. Now, those people may be nefarious people.
Of course.
And so it's disappointing that your good actions aren't more beneficial to society, let's say. But that doesn't take away her personal merit and like virtue, I almost want to say, for doing that, right? It doesn't matter what you do with it, unless it's like, oh, you know, I don't know, you give it to somebody and they like use it the wrong way. There's, you know,
of course,
other situations that. But even looking at it like harshly realistically, it's like, well, it's her. She's not responsible for anyone else. She's not hurting anyone else, right? It's like, oh, if you were like a parent, you're like, oh, honey, I'm giving away. It's like, okay, dude, bad move. Yeah. That's where the naive, like, but I think that stuff is important. And I think that, I mean, that's why I like movies and stuff. Honestly, like it's the same thing where it's like, sure, it's unrealistic maybe a little bit, and people are always like, oh, but is the hero always going to do the right thing? And it's like, well,
but that's not the message. Almost like, what is it saying?
And also, it's like, look, if there aren't people like that, then you're right, it will never be like that.
Yeah.
And the only way you can ever hope that you will be that person, or you hope that you're a better or do the right thing in a hard situation, is by having stories like that, having people like that, having movies that say that. That's the only way. If everything is harsh and pessimistic and real, it's like, it's weird, but I feel like that also just results in, it gets worse. It just becomes more like that, and everything becomes utilitarian. It's like, and it's the same thing with them and the holiday. Because it's funny, because I really related to that, because I used to think like that, where it's like, oh, I will give you a gift, and you'll give me a gift because we're friends, and we need to save money, and that's easier.
Yeah.
And I've kind of come full circle in that, where it's like, I don't care if I know you and you're my best friend. I think it's really important. Because those things mean something. You could say they don't, but they do. Humans are so affected by ritual. Ritual is incredibly important in our lives. And so those kind of things are important to keep people going, keep people trying to do the best thing. It's just better for the world in general. There's so many reasons. And I just think it's cool seeing that like kind of philosophy of Honda affect Kyo and Yuki, and have them kind of like look at things in a different way.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And I also think that I forgot which episode it was that they were talking about like you know, what comes after, like, or what happens when the snow melts sort of thing. I feel like it was something like that, right? And it's almost like you can see how a person kind of like thinks by their answer, you know. And it's interesting that, like, you know, I feel like it's kind of the same thing here with the story. It's almost like, you know, what do you kind of get out of that story? You know, are you able to take the good from it and realize that, you know, that is, you know, I feel like there is that like sort of like darkness in it, but can you see the light almost?
I think it's beautiful though,
right?
Because even in the tragedy of it, it's sacrifice, man.
Yeah.
And anything like that is beautiful.
No, yeah. And also, you know, being that sort of like, whatever, pessimistic type of person or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
We're both the same.
Like, I do see that, you know, I feel like Honda, it's very good for her and admirable, you know, to do these things, as long as she doesn't take it too far. You know, there is always that, you know, fear of, you know, harming yourself because you want to do good, right? And so I feel like you do have to keep a little bit of a balance, especially in, you know, in real life. In the story, I get it, right? But in real life, you have to kind of make sure that you're basically not completely disregarding, you know, yourself. For example, like the money thing, right? Of course, she wants to be independent, and maybe she doesn't want to impose on her family and Kyo and Yuki, right? But I feel that, you know, she needs to also understand that there are people that would be hurt if she is hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. On the flip side, in that specific situation, though, I think it could be like, look, if she's aware of what she's doing, right? I think the naive, especially in real life, it's a little sad, because then it's like you don't see that people are using you, or you don't see that you're overworking yourself. Of course, yes. But if she's aware of that and she's like, look, I think it's really important, or I think it's really important that I respect you and I don't use money from you, and she's willing to suffer the consequences for that, even then I think it's okay. Yeah, and I also think either way, that's why their like dynamic with this group is really good, because they're probably a little too pessimistic, and she kind of uplifts them, and then they're able to be like, hey, dude, maybe you're being a little too crazy, you know, or whatever. And they kind of ground her a little bit.
Yeah, I feel it's also like something that she has to kind of develop is like, you know, the idea that like your friends are there to help you out. I'm sure they want to, right? And so I feel like, relying on them.
Yeah.
Would it be a bad thing?
I just think there's like a beauty in naivety almost, if that makes any sense.
There
and
is.
like I only say this because I used to kind of be like idiot. Like really like harsh kind of. And I think that I don't like that people do that. And I actually think even if you don't agree with it or you think it's silly, like I think that's a beautiful thing. It's like a kid. Like it reminds me of that. And it's like there's something that is admirable and valuable in that like kind of innocence. Yeah. And I think it's a beautiful thing. Like everybody knows that kind of person where it's like, oh dude, this person is just so cool and like wholesome. And like I'd always be like, okay. And you're like a little condescending. Whereas now it's like, look, dude, I don't agree with you on everything. And maybe, I'll try to help you out if I feel like you're being really dumb. But that's cool, man. You keep doing that because we need people like that in the world. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's rare. And just, I don't know. And I think that's cool that they don't kind of do that. And I think that's one of the reasons I like Honda so much is because she is the embodiment of that.
Yeah. In the end, it's very simple. I think that, of course, she's a good person.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
It's
literally as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, thank you for joining us here, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, full-length reaction is going to be up with the Patreon as well as next week's reaction, episode 12, if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. And yeah, feel free to join the discussion in the comments down below. I always like to hear what you guys are thinking. Feel free to check out the Patreon if you guys want to support us a little bit. It's totally dirt cheap, and there's some awesome perks on there. But either way, really just thank you for being here today on YouTube or on Patreon. You guys are awesome. The best. We couldn't do it without you. If you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you stick around, like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next video.